Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Amber Rose, also known as The Religious Hippie. You could basically follow me on any social media platform, or you can go straight to my website at thereligioushippie.com. So today we're doing something a little bit different. As you guys know, I've been a YouTuber for the last 2 or 3 years. So I'm going back to some of my older videos and I'm going to be reacting to them today. So yeah, let's get this party started because this is going to be crazy. So the first video we're going to be reviewing is Get Ready for Mass with Me, which is one of the first day in my life vlogs I did. It's 16 minutes and 43 seconds long, so let's go. So today I thought I'd do a little fun video where you guys kind of come with me and get ready for Mass with me and then kind of go to Mass with me. Mine is actually seeing the Mass part because I'm not going to film it because it's on their YouTube channel if you want to go check out St. John of Cantius. They are on YouTube and they... Did I say St. John of Cantius? On YouTube and they do Masses like twice, so like at 7:30 and 8:30 on weekdays, and then except for Wednesdays they have an extra Mass at night, and then on weekends they do... Can we just talk about this Christmas music that's going on in the background? Nice little guitar there. More Masses. So anyway, feel free to go check that out. But yeah, you're gonna get ready with me, see how I get ready, pick out my outfit, and see what I do to like prepare for Mass beforehand. Our first thing, which is actually an examination of conscience. I always try to push people. Sorry, had a little asthma attack. See, I used to leave those parts in because I thought they made me relatable, but in reality, it just kind of added length to the video that you guys didn't need. But, you know, we're only 50 seconds in, so. There. I always try to push people. If you go to Mass on Sunday, push yourself to go to confession every week. I know it's difficult. My voice is cracking because I just woke up. I know it's difficult, but doing an examination of conscience every day is super beneficial for our relationship with God. Plus, it helps us to become more saint-like because we're understanding our faults, how we're falling into those things, mainly sins, and how to avoid them, which is so... Our faults and falling into things, mainly sin. That would be what our faults are. I mean, vices. I think I probably would have used the term vices. But I was also a baby Catholic, so I didn't know a lot of these terms until I was a little more seasoned. But I stand by what I said about the examination of conscience. We should all be doing one before going to confession, even if it's a short one that you're doing at church because maybe you forgot to do it the night before. We should still be doing one of those to make sure that our confession is actually, you know, a good one. But yeah, my vocabulary wasn't that broad back then, so important as a Christian Catholic. So with that being said, we're going to start off with that first thing, which is the examination of conscience. You can basically find it online. I prefer to use the examination of conscience in the back of a book called Swords and Shadows. So the difference now is that I use the examination of conscience from the Bulldog Catholic, which is a PDF. If you just type into Google Bulldog Catholic examination of conscience PDF, it'll pop up. And that's the one I use now because it's more thorough. In my opinion, I still really like the Swords and Shadows examination of conscience for teenagers. But as I've matured and I've, you know, grown in my faith, I've found that the Bulldog Catholic is a better resource for me personally. However, I lent it to my boyfriend. He's reading it right now. No longer my boyfriend. He definitely didn't read it. Anyways. So I don't have the book. I probably should have just taken a picture of it. I'll do that next time I go over. So I go online and I actually just find certain ones. And normally an examination of conscience goes through all the 10 commandments. So it's really important to kind of go through all of those and really examine yourself and better yourself because the end goal is heaven, y'all. I like how I keep repeating myself because I don't completely know what I'm saying. It's kind of just a string of consciousness. But I definitely know that I knew what I wanted to say. I just was like repeating myself a bunch. End goal. Oh. Again, the cute little ukulele music. Alright, you guys. Now it is 8:58 The guitar music always cracks me up because it does not match the vibe at all. And it reminds me of like background Christmas music, maybe. Like you'd have like a little fire crackling in the background, but it is like the dead of summer when I was filming this video.
So I am going to get my shower stuff ready. I don't usually go through my phone at this time.
That is not true, actually. I would go through my phone at that time. I just wanted to set a good example for everybody else out there. I definitely remember struggling with trying to keep my phone off at this time because I would get a bunch of notifications and things, and Sundays were usually my day of rest, so I wouldn't be on my phone a bunch, but that was something I definitely struggled with. It was not as easy as it looks.
I usually just try to go through and respond to my boyfriend.
Again, not my boyfriend anymore.
But I don't... There we go. Okay.
Oh, yes.
Now, obviously, hygiene is super important. So I'm going to brush my teeth. Please be brushing your teeth twice a day and flossing. So important.
Dental hygiene is very important. I'm just saying, if you are a girl or a guy who does not brush their teeth or floss, why? Just why?
And I'm gonna brush my hair out so that it doesn't get tangled. And
my hair is literally so short, so it doesn't get tangled.
And, I'm also gonna do my my teeth whitening thing.
I did not need teeth whitening.
Do you guys floss before or after you brush your teeth?
Nobody cares.
I usually do it before, but let me know what you guys do.
Oh, she is so cute. Look at her putting her little teeth whitening
so
on.
This is my mass fit. You can't really see it again because once again I am short. I was gonna say I could do it in the bathroom, but that's too much work, so we're gonna do it on my bed.
But it would have looked way better if I did it in my bathroom versus standing on my cluttered bed trying to show you guys my mass outfit. But, you know, small things. It's fine.
See if you can even see it. Now,
oh, you know what?
maybe, sort of.
I remember going to Myers and I bought this dress from Myers, which is technically like, they do sell clothes and they sell dog food and they sell fish. It's weird. But they're mainly a produce store. Like they mainly sell fresh produce. And I mean, they have canned stuff too. They're like a grocery store. But I specifically remember buying this dress thinking like, oh, it was so cute. And when I got to the cashier line or whatever, the lady was like, oh, this is a gorgeous dress for your grandma. And I was like, is it? Well, it's for me, so call me a grandma.
Kinda. I don't know. So, I don't know if any other girls struggle with this. Sorry,
I had fleas.
Get the clumps out of my hair. But
Just kidding, I'm kidding.
I've always struggled with looking feminine. I never felt like dresses like this looked good on me.
And to be honest, oh, we're not pausing at that place.
And I kind of still don't, but
okay. To be honest, that dress is not flattering on me. Some people might disagree, but the thing is that that large print and the cut of the dress is just naturally not flattering on me, and you really have to learn how to dress for your body type, and that was something I was still learning about when I was coming back into my faith. And so yeah, that dress wasn't naturally flattering on me, so I found it weird to be in it. I felt like I was kind of out of place in a dress like that. But now I've gotten a lot better at dressing for my body type, and I don't have that issue as often anymore. But yeah, definitely not the vibe.
at the same time, I really do want to practice like that feminine side. So I'm trying to get out of my comfort zone a little bit. And I do think this is a really pretty dress. I do. I just think it might be a little big for me. And by big, I mean like too much fabric. Like, I don't know. However, it's very cute. And when I do my makeup and everything, the look will be complete. So I'm going to go do that. I'm not really going to bring you guys with me for that because it's really long and really dumb, and all it really is concealer and mascara. So I will be right back.
I like how I said, oh yeah, it's only concealer and mascara, and then I was like, also has eyeshadow on and lip gloss and blush. I just really didn't want to film putting my makeup on because it's a pain. It's a real pain to film that. Oh, and eyeliner.
So basically that's the completed look. I know you can't really see them both.
It's the dark purple eyeshadow for me. I don't know what I was thinking.
Together, I don't exactly have a mirror in my room, one of those long mirrors, so
I do now.
maybe I should get one of those. Might be a good investment. So that's all done, and I always take my lip glosses with just in case. And so now usually with a dress like this, I wear my white wedges, which are like pretty high. So when I go to kneel, I really need to hold on to something, and sometimes I forget, and sometimes I just go wee. So
I remember wearing those white wedges once when I went to mass, and I fainted because my knees were locked. And everyone knows that when you feel like you're going to faint, you need to bounce your knees or bend them so that, you know, you get circulation through your legs, and you need to breathe. Like, those are the two main things. And I forgot to do that, and I couldn't because the wedges were so high. I couldn't really, it's great. I laid in like the front lawn of the church. It's a real wholesome experience.
Yeah. So I always take my water bottle with me because our church doesn't really have air conditioning.
It's true.
And I can get dehydrated really fast, and that results in me fainting. So, pro tip, take a water bottle with you.
Hydrate or dihydrate, my dudes.
And then of course I have my examination of conscience. If you guys do write down your sins on paper so you remember them when you go to confession, I do this all the time because I kind of get stage fright when I go into the confessional, and I just kneel down and I'm just
stage fright.
So
I sounded like Tina from Bob's Burgers.
If you do write them down like me, make sure you burn them. Don't just throw them away. Don't just rip them up.
I like how I'm just like, burn them. Burn them all. It's like, yeah, it's important that other people aren't scandalized or that other people don't see the sins that you've written down from your examination of conscience. I mean, burning them is good because then you know for sure nobody else is going to read them. But I mean, I was so adamant about that. I remember that, like, early in me coming back into my faith, I was so adamant about people burning the examination of consciences that they did, because I didn't, you know, if somebody read those, that's like terrible. But you can just rip them up. I mean, I've destroyed my examination of conscience by putting them in water. Like, I don't know, whatever was available to me, I would just destroy them however I saw fit. Sometimes that meant putting them through a shredder. I don't know. Or you can be like my fiance and you can write them on your phone. Whatever you decide, honestly. But you don't have to burn them, but I think the symbolism behind burning your sins is kind of cool, because it's like God purifying us in a way through confession, so you can burn those sins and know that they're forgiven. Obviously, there's still a temporal punishment potentially, and that's why we would be in purgatory. That's why, you know, making reparation and stuff is really important. Penances are really important. But yeah, that's just something I remember. It's really funny. Just burn them.
Actually physically see them turn to ash. It's really important, and
I wish you could see Max's face right now.
Just make sure you burn them. I
Do
don't
it.
eat before mass. My mass time is at 11, so I don't eat before then. And I usually stop eating at 8 the night before, so it's usually around a 16-ish hour fast.
You can see the wheels turning in my head trying to figure out the math in that. I will say that I did not have to do that though. Because I went to an 11 o'clock mass, I could have eaten around like 9 a.m. or 8 a.m. and had been completely fine. But, you know, go big or go home, and I was already home, so.
I do. And I do it for health benefits as well as religious benefits. So it's kind of like a win-win. Originally, I was fasting for religious reasons, and then I realized that it actually helps with my physical health as well. So it just kind of seemed like a no-brainer.
I will say that those are completely separate things though. Intermittent fasting and fasting for religious reasons are completely different. We shouldn't mistake the two for being the same, because religious reasons for fasting are to do penance and to make reparation for things and to control our flesh, basically to mortify ourselves. Whereas intermittent fasting is specifically to get a certain body type or to be healthier. I don't see anything wrong with intermittent fasting, and I did that quite a lot more out of necessity than actually wanting to because I worked really long shifts at the place I was working at the time. And I would have to go for a long time without eating. So intermittent fasting just kind of became a part of my life, but it's completely different. It's completely different.
Kill two birds with one stone, right? Sorry, I'm trying to go where like the lighting isn't terrible, but that's everywhere. So
we still have trouble with lighting on this channel, but thanks to Max, we've kind of gotten it down to a science now. So that's nice.
Yeah, so it's usually about, St. John of Cantius is usually about like, gosh, I don't know. Last time I went it was 20 minutes, but sometimes I go and it's like 45. So I really have no idea how long it's gonna take. I guess I could look it up. I don't know where my phone is. It's fine. Either way though, I usually like to leave around 10 because I like to get there a half hour early and really just kind of just read my Bible, journal, go to confession. And I know for a fact that confession lines can be extremely long. So if, you know, there is confession, I usually try to go to that. And I think I've stand in line for confession for 30 minutes to
30 to an hour.
An hour. So it's worth it though, you know. If somebody's telling you to get out of line, you know, like a little voice in your head, that's the devil. So just stay in line, kids. Stay in line.
I'm calling people kids as if I am not 21 in this video. I mean, technically being 21, you're technically an adult, but you guys are the same age as me, for the most part.
And so yeah, let's go to church. Okay, so I'm going to turn the car on because that might be necessary to actually go somewhere.
No. I also love these car shots because they're so poorly filmed, and I didn't have a proper microphone for my car or my camera. So the audio is really bad because you can hear the road, and I'm usually very loud trying to talk to you guys because I know it's really loud. Yeah. Just a mess.
It's beautiful. Too cold. Okay, so I'm going to put on Trending with Timmery.
I love that I started listening to Trending with Timmery when I first came back into my faith, and since then she was on the final episode of season 2 of my podcast, A Catholic's Perspective, and I was actually on Relevant Radio to talk about my own experiences, me coming back into the faith, a lot of my struggles since then, or while I was in high school, a lot of my struggles. And it's just crazy to me that these people who I looked up to as a baby Catholic, you know, somebody coming back into my faith, are now good friends of mine, or, you know, we're acquaintances. It's just really cool to see how that kind of came about.
I am currently listening to Leisure, Rest, and Women in the Workplace. So I am listening to that, and we are going downtown. So I will see you downtown.
We love that picture of Cantius. Those short guides for the examination of conscience are really important.
Hey my dudes, so I just got out of Mass, and I kind of wanted to talk about something that kind of bugged me a little bit.
It still bugs me.
And it kind of has to do with the virtue of modesty as well. But one of my biggest pet peeves is I started coming to the Trinitine Mass, the traditional Latin Mass, because I liked the reverence, I liked that people dressed modestly.
11 o'clock isn't the traditional Latin Mass.
I know. Yeah, so I think because I wasn't familiar with the TLM versus the Novus Ordo in Latin, I couldn't tell them apart. And then as I grew in my faith, I realized there was a difference. Because I had no idea. I just thought that if it was the traditional Latin Mass, it was in Latin. Whereas the Novus Ordo I always knew was, you know, in English, the vernacular. So I think I just didn't know any better. It's another thing about being a baby Catholic. You learn things as you go.
I like the fact that it was a part of before, like pre-Vatican II, you know, so.
I think I was also learning here a lot about Vatican II, but I wasn't learning from the best sources, because technically in the Vatican II documents, there's nothing wrong. They never say to get rid of the altar rails or that Latin shouldn't be a part of the liturgy or that ad orientem should be banned. It doesn't say any of that. I just think people who wanted power in the church at the time kind of took over and took advantage of some things. But I was still learning a lot about Vatican II at the time. And it's not that I was against it. I still knew that the Novus Ordo was Mass. I was just a lot more skeptical about it because at Novus Ordo, there are more liturgical abuses that happen than at the Tridentine Mass. So that's something I was discovering as I was going about this journey. I love the face that I paused on. That was great for your viewer enjoyment.
Anyway, but on like 4 different accounts, I saw about 5 different guys pull out their phones and start like taking pictures and videos of the Mass and the consecration of the hosts and like the choir and all of that.
This still bugs me till this day because I see it happening constantly. People will pull out their phone and put it above everyone's head and start filming, the priest walking in. Now, St. John Cantius has an actual photographer named Esty, and she actually goes around and takes photos, and then they have the Knights of Columbus who take some videos and things for their social media pages and things, and that's great. But when random people pull their phones out during Mass, it's just like, you guys, it's not about that. It's not about having the phones. Put your phones on silent, put them away. If you can't trust yourself, leave them in the car. But Mass should be a time where we're uniting ourselves with Christ and uniting ourselves with the priest and sacrifice. And what am I trying to say? Uniting ourselves with the priest in the sacrifice of the Mass. So it is not a time to pull out your phone and take a selfie. It's the time to put your heart in the right place and put your mind in the right place to participate in the Mass. And that's something that still bothers me till this day. Take your photos before Mass, take them after Mass, but during Mass is not the time to be snapping some selfies.
Y'all, put your phones away. Mass is no place for phones, and if you can't trust yourself to not take your phone out, leave it in the car.
I like that.
The
I just
Mass
repeated
is about
myself.
God, about Jesus. It's about, paying him homage and
homage. It's homage, but that's not. It's about it's about giving him what is due. It's about worshiping our Creator, and he asked for one day, for an hour out of the whole week, and we can't even do that.
It's only an hour. You guys can put your phones away, and if you do want to take pictures and stuff, you can. That was Brother Juan.
I love Brother Juan. He is the best. This is when I became close with Brother Juan. Anyone who goes to Cantius knows who Brother Juan is. I love Brother Juan. He's just the sweetest, and he has helped me a lot in my faith. He's a brother at St. John Cantius, and we're just very good friends. So I really do appreciate all of the help that he's given me throughout my faith journey. And this was about the time that we became closer friends. And I just really enjoyed seeing Brother Juan every Sunday. It was awesome.
You guys, Brother Juan is literally the sweetest. He just got me Our Lady of Fatima statue from Wisconsin.
I still have that.
How sweet is this
I keep
man?
it in my wallet.
He is amazing. Such an amazing holy man. Honestly, though, all the priests here are so sweet and so nice, and all the brothers as well. And Brother Juan is just such a sweet soul. Honestly, such a holy soul. So back to my little rant. I saw 4 or 5 people today pull out their phones and start recording the Mass. The Mass is recorded already on YouTube, and also it just takes away from the reverence, you're supposed to be paying attention, participating, and how are you going to do that if you are distracted by your phone, and stuff like that. And it's not classy, it's not something I like to see, and it's not something that you should be doing, so don't.
I like how I kind of made the argument, I don't like to see it. It's just nobody likes to see it. If you're the person that's in front of people that's filming the Mass above their heads, nobody wants to see that, It's not just because of me. I don't know. I feel like I sound a little self-centered there. It did bug me quite a lot to see that, but it's just something that we shouldn't be doing because it's just disrespectful.
Do it. And If you do want to take pictures and all of that stuff, wait till after Mass or before Mass. A lot of times they're playing music before Mass. They are performing and practicing the songs beforehand for Mass. So if you do want to record the music and stuff, do it before Mass. Anyway, that's just my little rant. Phones have no place in Mass, during Mass. So if you can't trust yourself to not go on your phone, leave it in the car.
Hi, may I please
Going to
have
Dunkin'.
2 large iced coffees, black? Okay. And then can I have a medium dark roast iced coffee with almond milk and 2 squirts of the French vanilla?
I was like,
Okay. And that's it. Thank you.
I can't believe I used to get that.
I mean, because I always order the 2 large black coffees.
I love her. So she's a manager that worked at the Dunkin' Donuts by me. She hardly works there anymore, but we kind of gained this friendship because every single Sunday I would go to Dunkin' after going to Mass, and I would always order the 2 large coffees for my parents, and then I'd order my own. And she always knew it was either me or my dad because we would always order those. And she also, she couldn't really tell based off of the cars we drove because I used to drive my dad's old car. But yeah, I miss her. She was just such a fun person.
It's either me or my dad. All right, $8.88. All right, you guys can keep the change. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know why I left that in there.
You guys work hard. I know what it's like to be in retail and
true, I
food
do.
business. It sucks.
It does.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
I remember that kid. I was close with him as well as the manager, and he went off into the army, and haven't heard from him since. So hopefully he's doing all right.
You too.
You never know.
So I just wanted to say something though real fast.
Oh, yeah,
if
I
you
do.
guys are ever, I'm turning off the radio. If you guys are ever in like a drive-through or anything like that, like a McDonald's drive-through or a Dunkin' Donuts
First of all, if you're in a McDonald's drive-thru, pull out and go somewhere healthier because McDonald's is not the vibe. But what I'm about to say is kind of important, so.
drive-through, better not be a Starbucks drive-through because we can't support that because they support Planned Parenthood and we ain't about to do that.
That is true, and yet I do get some gift cards to Starbucks, which I use, and that's the only time I ever do go to Starbucks is when I have gift cards. Sometimes I try to give them away to friends or family, but because they're already gift cards, I just use them. However, it's very rare, and I try not to because of those reasons. Same thing with like Target or other places, but it's really hard to avoid because almost every single big corporate organization, company, now supports Planned Parenthood in some way or something that's, you know, immoral. So it's hard.
You don't have to do it every single time, and sometimes there's not going to be an opportunity
Did I
to do
even say
it.
what it was yet?
But when you are able to, pay for the person that's behind you. I've done this basically a lot around Christmas time. Because
I will say that this is a great thing to do. However, I have been stuck in one of these where it's like, oh, pay for the person behind you. And so you feel obligated then to pay for the person behind you, and it just keeps going, which is great until the person behind you has a $35 order and you only have $20. So it's difficult. I highly suggest you do it if you can. But also if you cannot afford it, don't worry about it. I don't know who would buy $30 worth of Starbucks, but with how expensive it is, it actually doesn't surprise me. But yeah, it's something you could do, but don't feel obligated to if it's something you can't do at the same time.
because we never know what people are struggling with internally.
That's true.
And so it's always a good rule of thumb to just treat everyone with respect and genuine kindness. And everyone deserves, to be treated with respect, no matter their race, their gender, their beliefs.
It's true.
So just keep that in mind.
But I also like the fact that I threw that in there. I also feel like a lot of the times we need to understand that we need to take care of ourselves first. One of the best ways I like giving back is by getting some care packages together for the homeless. During the winter, it's usually socks, hats, gloves, water bottles, something that's protein dense, like protein bars and things like that. I think there's a lot of other ways we can give back than just doing the pay it forward type of thing in drive-thrus. It's not a bad idea, and I still stand by what I said. But I think there are other ways that we can help as well. So yeah, I don't know.
And when possible, give to those who are strangers, give to those who are family and friends. But I know a lot of times it can be difficult to find things to give people. So sometimes just, you know, giving them a free drink, a free meal, you know, in a drive-through can mean the world to somebody. And yeah, I don't know, I just wanted to put that out there. Maybe nobody thought of it. I know not a lot of my friends have thought about it before. And then
No, other people have definitely thought about it. Otherwise, how would I have thought about it if nobody else did? But I also didn't have a lot of friends at this time, so that's probably accurate.
I mentioned it to them. I'm like, oh yeah, you know, to give back sometimes I will pay for the person behind me in line at a drive-thru. And they're like, I never even thought of doing that.
Yeah, that's true.
If you guys want to shove a little bit of kindness into your day, pay for the person behind
Shove some kindness into your day. I love the way that I use my words.
you at the drive-thru. You can even do it at a restaurant. You can pay for somebody's bill at a restaurant.
I've done
it's
that.
a little more tricky to do it anonymously that way.
The way you do it anonymously at a restaurant is you wait until somebody else is almost done with their meal. Like, they're probably not going to order anything else. And then you're finished with your meal, so you can just skedaddle out of there. Because personally, I think it's just awkward if somebody points you out and you're like, oh yeah, they paid for your meal. I'd be like, I don't want recognition, you know? It's just kind of awkward. I feel a lot better when I can just like drop the bill and then like skedaddle versus having to like sit there and they just stare at you the entire time. Like, because some people will be like, oh no, don't pay for it. I'll pay for it myself. And then they'll bring your bill back. And it's like, no.
Take my kindness. Enjoy it.
I prefer to do it anonymously because I don't feel like taking credit for anything. Like, it's just something we should do out of the kindness of our hearts. It's not something we should be rewarded for.
It's true.
But yeah, it's a really nice thing to do for those who might be going through a difficult time, who might not, you know, or they're perfectly fine.
So many
like,
strains of
sometimes
thought
people are
here.
just totally 100% perfectly fine, but it's just a really nice gesture. So I just put that out there. You're welcome. So basically, I just got home. I just let the dogs out. I'm gonna go check on the cats. My parents went on some errands. I think they're getting some more plants from a nursery or something like that. So yeah. Also, I should mention, we ended up adopting Peter and Molly. They are now ours. Peter is a Russian blue, we believe, and Molly, we think that she's a silver tabby.
She's a marbled tabby, but same thing.
Also might think that she's marbled. We don't really know. And Socks is some kind of weirdo. We have
That's true, it hasn't changed. We ended up adopting Socks as well. He's my cat now.
no idea. But we didn't adopt Socks. We're thinking about it, but we're not sure yet.
We adopted him.
So yeah,
Spoilers.
I will go check on them real fast. Molly,
Oh, they're
hi.
so little.
Hi, baby girl. There's my buddy.
Oh, they're so tiny.
Hey, Peter.
He looks like a little gargoyle.
How you doing, pal? Oh, you got a little boogie.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're kind of getting over a little cold that they got
forgot
when they
about
were in the shelter. So, boop. And then here's Socks. Hi, buddy. He's we don't know what he is. He's very much so insane. So
He's a tabby.
He's one of them. So if you guys have any ideas on what Socks might be, comment below, because we really don't know. Oh, I'm sorry. Are you still getting over your cold?
He's so
yeah.
tiny.
Yeah. This is Molly. Obviously, you guys remember her from the last video.
Ugh, they're so little.
But she's my mom's cat. And then we got Peter. Where'd he go? Which you guys already saw. Oh, yeah, see, there he is. There's my buddy. So, yeah. Hi, baby. And then Socks we're still debating on. But we're trying to introduce them to the dogs and the rest of the house. Oh, so that's been a little bit of a process, but it's going to take a while, and that's okay.
Fun fact, my cat and my dog are now best friends. They sleep together in the chair, and Dixie, I think, actually tolerates him more than loves him, but he loves her. He loves her to death. It's kind of crazy.
Right? It's just gonna take a little bit. So we're gonna give him a treat, and then I'm gonna go upstairs and change. So yeah, that's basically it. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm gonna go
It's the turquoise walls for me. I forgot I had those for the longest time. I miss those turquoise walls.
change and start, you know, getting a head start on some of the chores. But thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. God bless.
Wow. So much to unpack there. That is it for that video. Wow. Trip down memory lane for sure. Seeing the kittens so tiny was really cute. And just, oh my gosh, I don't really shut up in that video, but honestly, that's okay too, because I had a lot to talk about. I kind of used these videos back then as more of a diary than an actual Catholic YouTube channel. But I know that a lot of people really enjoyed that specialness about it. I don't know. But anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed this little snippet. We're going to be doing more of these. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this one, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Bye guys.